Does creating an LLC make all of your expenses tax deductible? Hi, I'm Juliana, and I'm an enrolled agent living in Texas. I like to cover some of my background at the IRS, as well as things you may run into either with the IRS or tax in general. If any of that interests you, then come along. I'm trying to cover some of the things that I have seen around the internet and TikTok that are tax loopholes that may allow you to write off extra things on your tax return. And before you just run out and follow strangers' advice, I wanted to cover if some of them are legit. Today we have LLCs. I have heard a lot about people who just say, hey, I started an LLC, I have this new business, I put my house in it, a car in it, I now have a business. But do you? Creating an LLC, that is something that happens at the state level. Anyone can do it. That doesn't mean you have a business. A business is something that is generally an activity engaged in for profit. You do something, you sell something, you try to receive income. Putting all of your assets into a holding company does not generate income for you, just on the surface level. If you have another method where you can generate income from doing so, then depending on your situation, you may have an income producing activity. LLCs themselves are not recognized by the IRS. This is solely at the state level. So if you put your house into an LLC, the IRS does not care. It is still personal property, is still owned by you. If you are actively renting your house out, whether it's an LLC or not, the IRS will consider that an activity engaged in for profit. It will be rental income, and you can deduct rental expenses. Often setting these things up is very costly. That is not a business expense unless you have a business. So make sure you know what you're doing before you jump into something. You create an LLC. If there's no activity and it is dormant, I do know a lot of people who they create something with the intent in the future of utilizing it for a specific purpose, some sort of business purpose. You can't just write off those expenses. It's not a business. But check with your state and local filing requirements. Some states have an annual or other filing requirement, whether you have activity or not. So make sure you stay compliant at that end. If you do have activity in the business, you may be able to write off some of those expenses, but you'd have to report the income on your federal return as well with the IRS.